Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome to the Moose Minute Project. Gonna make friends today, that is for sure. Earned my little sticker today, though. Yep, that's right. Voted this morning, and after seeing posts the last few days, I've done more research in the last few times than I dare to ever say I did. I probably didn't do this much research on papers in high school or college. Not sure, but welcome to the Moose Minute Project. I did vote this morning, number 9 in Gotham. Yeah, that's right, number 9, and I think they had 5 workers there, so I'm pretty sure they were 1 through 5, and then, so, hey, I'm happy to say I voted. So, first of all, that's what brings me to my first point today on the Moose Minute Project is if you haven't gotten that sticker, or the ability to get that sticker, I think social media should just cut you off from talking politics. That's what I think. If you don't vote, you don't get to complain about where this world is, or where at least the United States is in the issues. That's how I feel about that. So on to the discussion of inflation and how it'll all be fixed if the Republican candidate gets in, because right now the Democratic Party has sent it to the ground. So, did some research, and I'm not going to argue with either side. I'm going to prove possibly some points that maybe you should look at, and I would strongly suggest that people themselves do more research on inflation and also the percentages that are being ran right now. So, our goal, I think, in the United States is right around 2.2%. Was as high as around 6, almost 7. We're back down to 3.2, I think 3.3. I listened to an economist out of, I believe he's out of Delaware, might be New Hampshire, that stated that it started, and this is where people are going to either shut it off or listen with an open mind. So, it all started with President Trump in 21-ish, somewhere in there, or, let's just go with that scenario, in 2020. So, it started with him because of his large deficit. So then we got President Biden in, and he brought up the whole act of they were going to fix it, and here's how they were going to fix it. And pumping money into things. Well, that plan, and we all see it didn't work. I'll gladly admit it didn't work. But nobody wants to look back to where it started and why it started. Okay, things got bottlenecked. Then we had the Ukraine war that kicked in. That doesn't help either. Had things held up with all the COVID stuff. And I believe there was things that needed to be handled there that were not handled by the previous administration. So, if you feel that, and then you also have the big thing in the pile that nobody wants to look at is military spending. It is all affecting inflation. So, if we look at it, even if we get, and I know everybody's complaining about how groceries are $400 or groceries are $500 to go for and I get it. I have no kids at home anymore, so it's just the wife and I. But we feed 3 dogs, and all the stuff's expensive. Her and I want to go out to dinner. It's expensive. So the thing that amazes me is nobody wants to really admit, because I don't think you're going to understand that no matter who is president, there are a few things that are not going to change. Gas prices, for one. Doesn't matter who's in charge. Gas prices are going to stay where they are, because the only way it'll change is if we all get together and say, we're not going to drive for 2 weeks. That would slow things down. That would all of a sudden maybe make, more, whoever. And if you look at the profits that gas company and oil companies are making, why would they change it? A lot of people are here say, oh, I own a small business and, it's going to put me. If you own a small business and somebody came to you and said, I am going to give you this much money for something that costs you a third of it, are you going to continue to take that money and then all of a sudden bump it up a little bit and continue to make money and continue to make money and continue to make money? Or are you going to say, you know what? Nope, that's not right. I need to bring prices back down. I need to make less money. Don't think so. Don't think you're going to go, well, shit, I should probably not charge as much for my services. I don't need to make that kind of money. Or are you going to continue to do that and continue to make money and make more money? That's how I look at, if I look at who really is in charge of gas prices, it is not, if you study it even, just do some research on that. The president has little to do. And so I don't care who's going to become president. I don't think I know it's not going to change. It hasn't changed. Yes, you can say, Chris, but look back here. You want to know why gas price changed back when it did? Is there were very few people using gas back during that first part of COVID. Nobody was out and about. So where did gas prices go? They dropped because nobody was doing it. It was supply and demand. Now we're all back to driving to California, driving to Texas, driving to doing whatever. We're all buying our gas for our boats, and we're doing all the stuff we did before. So, shit, let's bring it back up. Why not? People are going to, we've all seen gas prices higher than this before. I'm pretty sure back when I was trying to sell boats when gas was $4.50 a gallon or $5 a gallon, trying to convince people to buy a boat, and that's when people were starting to ask me, well, Chris, how many miles per gallon does this get? Well, in the marine world, you don't talk about miles per gallon. It's not a thing. So, now everybody's talking about groceries. If he gets in, groceries are going to come down. No, they're not. Grocery prices may de-escalate a little bit, but what you're not taking into effect is why do you think the McDonald's cheeseburgers back when I were young were $1, and you could buy a shit ton of them for $1? And yes, the dollar, you worked harder for your money. I think my first job I started was $3.15 an hour or $3.10 an hour. So gas then was cheap too. But right now, you're paying big money for I don't know if it's considered beef anymore at McDonald's. I haven't had bread and stuff now going on almost 3 months. I don't know. But you're paying people to flip burgers $15 an hour. We're all bitching that we can't find workers in any industry. And I've got guys in the concrete world that, you couldn't pay me enough because I'm fat and I don't do well in the heat. So I probably couldn't do concrete work, and I give them all credit for doing that. I got people that work in the plumbing industry, and I don't do well around poop and stuff, so I can't do that either. Okay? But we're bitching about groceries. Here's what's going to happen. And is if and whoever wins, I'm not saying, I don't know. It's so damn close that I'm not sure. But if Kamala gets in, and this is just a scenario in my head, and this is the nice thing about my channel, is you can shut me off now and not ever listen to me again. It's okay. I still come on here to do my content. If Kamala gets in, groceries are going to stay high or where they are now. Gas prices are going to fluctuate like they have for years. And people are going to say, see, damn Democrats, damn Democrats, damn Democrats. If Trump wins and everything stays where it is, people are going to say, well, he's not getting the help from the Democrats. He's not getting the help from this. He's not getting help from that. I'm telling you right now, it does not matter who is sitting in that number one seat. Okay? Kind of like Big Pharma. I pay, for that little sensor, I pay $75 for 2 of those sensors, and they last 28 days. My dad pays, I don't know, it's like $700 or $900 for his meds as a senior. There are people choosing to not take their meds and to not do their meds because of the cost of that. Is it because it costs so much to make them? No. Big Pharma is allowed to do whatever the hell they want to because they've got so much money invested. I think a big problem solver here would be, we're going to give each party, what's a fair number to run for the, let's say it's going to cost, we're going to give you $5 million to run your campaign. That's what you get. Can't spend any more, can't raise any more. You're going to get $500 to run for president, or $500 million to run, $5 million to run for president. Let's go with $5 million. You're going to get $5 million to run your campaign to become president. And you're going to get $700,000 to run for Congress or Senate, whatever it may be. And it's going to be capped at that. Nobody can give you any more money. Nobody can sway you one way or another. Because let's face it, they can hide money wherever they want. The guy slides up into a dinner and, let's have a, $25,000 a plate dinner and have somebody show up. The normal person cannot run for office because they can't afford to. So, the economist that I listened to and researched the other day said, here's the stat. Food prices, no matter who gets in, are going to stay where they are. The interest rate has already dropped. Our whole thing is their goal is 2.2% for inflation. We're down to 3.3 or 3.4 maybe from 6 or 7. So we're down quite a bit. But they said even at the pace we're at, it's going to take a year or better to get to there. And if we can get to there, guess what? Our food prices are going to stabilize. That's it. They're going to stay where they are. They don't normally drop, and I don't believe they may fluctuate a little. Your bananas may go from 59 to 49. Who knows? It's still going to cost you relatively the same amount of money as it does right now to the grocery store, no matter who's in office. So while you sit on your soapbox and you yell people and tell them how stupid they are and how dumb they are and how idiotic it is that they're under this presidency they're under now, and look at what they've done to this. Yeah, you're right. He has not helped it. But I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. What I am is I'm looking at the fact that it didn't start with him. It started the previous presidency. And it has started before that. Because we don't get military spending under control. Right now we have, I think, one airplane. I think it's in the projects of, overall $1.7 trillion if we can make this fighter work. But the whole damn computer system doesn't want to work. So they're building a whole shit ton of $1 million airplanes that can't fly because of the computer system. And if you look at the defense budget, it's billions of dollars. They don't have a clue where most of their money goes. They can't follow it. They don't know where the dollars go. We're selling things overseas. We're selling to countries that are fighting countries. So they're each fighting with our shit. And yet we're all sitting here complaining and putting the blame on two senior citizen men that in the normal world has been expected to retire a long time ago. But yet, why do you feel that they want to continue to keep getting... They aren't for the betterment of us. It doesn't work that way. It only makes you feel better. As a Democrat, when you've got a Democratic president, you're like, hey, look at us, we got it. As a Republican, you're like, oh, yay, at least I know I'll get to keep my guns for a while and things are going to be good. And it doesn't change. I've been voting now for, 32 years? Good God. It doesn't get any better. Yes, you'll have highlights, you'll have blips. But I'm guessing your 401k, all of that, and then the whole stock market and everything else is a whole thing of just of people playing numbers. Nobody can grasp it really, because if they could, some people have become really rich off of it. A lot of people have lost their ass. You'd have been better off betting red or black in the casino. So stop with the whole name calling and blaming people. Stop telling people how frickin' dumb they are for believing in who they believe in. Because it doesn't work. You're not going to gain somebody's vote except for your buddy who thinks you guys are both on the same page as you drink your beer in your garage, and you're like, hey, bash them until they can't bash them anymore. Similar to high school. When you bash people and you got together in your group, what you did is you drove a lot of people to become smarter than you, work harder than you, to be better because you were calling them dipshits, fats, whatever they were back in high school. And now you're just 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old senior in high school picking on the new freshmen. That's all you are. And nobody's going to take you serious. And hence, I have no issues with either side if they would come out front and tell me what the hell they're going to do for me in a truthful manner. But the fact is they can't do that because, A, we can't work across the aisle together. They've made it very, very clear that they are not going to work together for the common good. If they don't do what each other want, they're going to fight it tooth and toenail and veto and blah, 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 and sue. And let's face it what it is. Let's call a spade, as my mom used to say. It is a broken system that a third party, no matter what, will not be able to get on the ballot, no matter how hard they try. And right now, the acts that we have on either side of the table, and we all can agree on one thing, that's for damn sure, is we're only picking the worst of whoever feels, or the best of whoever feels the worst of the two evils. And I have to say the worst of two evils because both sides are not for us. If you're not in the Elon Musk, Bezos category, any kind of Joe Rogan category, your vote is just a vote. So go out and vote. Do your vote. I did this morning. Proud to say I did. Gives me a right to do this, I feel, too. But enough is enough. Do a lot of research before you start name calling, before you start blasting people, because it was the fault of both parties of why we are where we are. Because they cannot work together. And if you watch the whole interaction right now with J.D. Vance, yes, he was in the military for 4 years. Yep. He went overseas. He went to Iraq. Congratulations. Thank you for your service, sir. Tim Walz, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you've done for that side of the military as well. Did you retire to get out of Iraq? Your paperwork says no. People are lying and spreading whatever they want to talk about it. But thank you guys for your service. And it ends there. Right? That's what it should do. It should end right there. They both served. They both went in and above and beyond. So I thank you. I have a lot of friends that did the same. They put as much time in as anybody else, and they deserve that too. But don't start barraging and name-calling somebody for what you think should have happened. None of us were in that boat. None of us were where he was at the time. He went on to serve in politics as well. So that part, to me, he doesn't deserve the degrading portion of what people are giving Mr. Walz. Let's talk about what he did for the country instead, or his state. And I'm not sure. I moved out of Wisconsin. I moved out of Minnesota a long time ago, so I have no clue. I never lived there. I didn't live there during his time. I got to live there when Jesse Ventura was in the office. And what a shit show that was. So everybody that is in politics, I think, is in politics for some form of reason. But I think now when you go into politics and you're worth, especially in Congress or Senate, when you're worth $1 million and you leave and you're worth 14 million, 15 million, 60 million, whatever it may be, there's something fucking wrong with that system. So that's the other solution I had is when you go in worth, let's say, I'll use Tim Walz. I think Forbes says he's worth 300,000, somewhere in there, net worth. That's what he's going to leave office as, minus whatever he makes for his salary. And yes, I know Trump waived his salary for 4 years. Well, congratulations. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. But now I continue to pay for you while you're doing all the things you do because you're getting those checks for the rest of your life. If somebody walked up to me right now and said, hey, Chris, guess what? Here's what you're going to do. We're going to pay you $400,000 a year. And I'm worth $5 billion or whatever I may have been worth at the time. Nah, I don't need that right now. And all the country says, holy crap, look at that guy. Look at what he did for us. He waited 4 years. It's like kind of putting money that we get to put in savings accounts rather than our 1.2% interest on our bank money that's in savings right now. Is now he's collecting those checks. He didn't quit. He didn't say, nope, I don't want him ever. He just didn't take them while he was in office. Why he was probably getting stuff on the others, I don't know. But we have to realistically look at these things and look at them in an open viewpoint. And I have friends that I consider dear friends on both sides of this aisle. And what bugs me the most is I cannot, there's a couple of them I can sit and have conversations with. Otherwise, it turns into a pissing match, And you watch all the back and forth bullshit, and it's just dumb. And I know a lot of people quit talking to me because of my stance on this. I'm trying to be the most neutral I can be, but people don't like that. I'm tired of hearing about fake news. If it's not Fox or what, MSN, CNN, whatever it may, all of a sudden we have all these new descriptions. I'm honestly still not sure if I'm woke or unwoke. I don't know. Nobody's given me that flyer yet. Nobody's wrote that description down. I believe in the good Lord upstairs and that he takes care of me and he's blessed me in many ways. I believe our government's broke. I didn't like the current guy there. I don't like the guy they're trying to elect. So I don't know if I should start a different channel. The unwoke Chris or the woke Chris, or just go to sleep Chris. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. But I do thank every one of you guys for watching. Like I said, this is dedicated to my mom. She always told me to push and do what I felt I should do and work hard, and I'm not doing it. Trust me, I haven't seen a dollar yet. I found a penny on the floor. Maybe that was the good Lord paying me for my time on this channel, but don't know. I just wish people would really sit down and think about what's going on. Life's way more important. 7 years ago, I was at home walking 3 miles a day. Thank God I could walk. Thank God I could talk. Starting to get feeling back, movement in my hand from the stroke I suffered. From working my ass off, busting my balls for 12 hours, 11 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I am now blessed to work Monday through Friday. Little less stress. Actually, a lot less. Met people last night that used to work in a few of the places that I did. And they're trying to find a different place because their blood pressure is out of control. Mine's not. I'm calm as can be. So it's been very good. And I just want to thank all of you guys for doing this. Update on Mom. Went up and saw her Sunday. It was a very short visit. Couldn't acknowledge me. Hospice is in today. I'll get more of a report. Driving 7 hours for 15 minutes of seeing her, I'll still take it. So with that said, with those around you, I know a few people that watch my show have lost their parents. And I still have my dad, whose birthday is coming up on Thursday. So I'm still blessed that way. For those of you that have lost your parents, I'm not ready yet. I don't think you're ever ready for that. Even though what she's gone through, I would really be blessed if she fell asleep so she doesn't suffer anymore. But I don't, there again, with Alzheimer's, I'm not sure if she's suffering or not. I know every day is different, and all the workers, it's every day is different too. So thank you guys for listening to this. Thank you for being part of the Moose Minute Project. Today was a little bit of a rant for me because I did go and vote today. So get out and vote. If you're out and about, make sure you put get your sticker. So and get that done. So then we can go on to the next one in November, and we'll listen to a lot more shit shows coming up on both sides. And like I said, I'm not bashing one or the other. It is going to be a shit show for 2 months or 3 months. Until we can, and quite honestly, I don't think anybody right now, there might be some, I guess, on the fence yet, but I'm pretty sure most people are convinced on who they're voting for. But with that said, appreciate you all. If you can bless somebody today, please take the time to do so. And it doesn't have to be anything big. A phone call to say, hey, hold the door for somebody. If you see somebody struggling to make ends meet, if you can give them. I'm not talking about the peddler that you see on the corner every day. Like Madison has a few that live on the corner. They're the same people. They just rotate around. or the Nigerian family or the other family coming through the Toma Mosque area that was out there with their kid and their wife, and they're all wearing brand new Nike sneakers and stuff. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about general people that you know that are struggling. Bless them today, if you can. Truly appreciate it all. Thank you guys for listening. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another Moose Minute project.